breakdown. I'm going to be doing a live stream right now, and this is going to be in just in case you missed it, volume one. We're going to be covering a couple of fast forwarded things, the things that's happened this past weekend, things that's happened today, yesterday in sports. It's going to be a quick summary, quick recap of some of the top stories that you may or may not have heard of. Without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going to start with the NBA on the hardwood. The Golden State Warriors have a stalemate on their hands with Jonathan Kuminga. When you think about Jonathan Kuminga, the forward slash small forward, and what he's been through with Steve Kerr, what he's been through the last year, being benched, not being played, going back and forth publicly over how he's been used. It's a number of things that have happened that strain or either take away from this relationship. And you're looking at overall Steve Kerr, you're looking at the ownership group, and the ownership group has actually stepped in. They've actually stepped in and requested a meeting and spoke with Jonathan Kuminga and asked directly, do you want to be here? Jonathan Kuminga essentially asked him back, do you want me here? So the writing's on the wall for the Golden State Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga. I don't think this relationship is going to be able to work itself out. When you think about all the money that's on the table slash off the table, he wants a one-year deal, and if he wants a two-year deal, he doesn't want any trade clause available for him to be traded. He doesn't want there to be a team-friendly deal. He wants it to be his money or the highway. So essentially, he's probably going to end up gambling on himself. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, I trade him for as many assets as I can get. Get him to sign a contract, sign him to a trade-friendly deal, and get him out on the first train out of Golden State. When you think of just overall the headache that this has caused, they can't sign free agents. There's talk of Al Horford not being able to sign, Gary Payton Jr. not being able to sign. It's a number of players that they want to sign or either do business with or possibly trade that they can't trade because of the salary cap. This could potentially be an issue going into the season, and you don't know when he's going to sign his actual tender as a restricted free agent. In other news, there's a string of quarterbacks that are injured. When you think about Joe Burrow possibly missing 3 months for turf toe surgery, when you think of the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who came back from an injury from last year, now missing 2 to 4 weeks with an ankle, possibly Jaden Daniels with the Commanders. There's a number of quarterbacks that have suffered either nagging injuries or possible injuries that essentially are going to be sitting out. And this bodes bad for essentially those football teams. When you think of Jaden Daniels, who's going to back him up? When you think of McCarthy, are you confident in Carson Wentz backing up J.J. McCarthy and starting? Not me. Not me at all. And when you think of Joe Burrow, are you confident in his backup starting for him? So it's a number of things that are going on in the NFL as far as backups. And the game has gotten more physical, folks. The injuries have gotten more. And you're looking at, how tough it was. We saw on Monday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took care of business against the Texans with a 1-point victory, 20-19. Baker Mayfield shined, and Rachaad White was with the touchdown with the final seconds to able to put away essentially the Texans. And you saw Geno Smith throw multiple interceptions to give the Chargers cushion to winning go 2-0. The Raiders were in this game for most of the game, and they were able to get in within striking distance after that field goal to put it to 9-17. But then the Chargers were able to pull away. And you got to think, Quentin Johnson has been catching passes as of late. He doesn't feel like he has that drop in the ball issue like he had his first couple of years in the league. So now the Chargers are looking at 2-0. Herbert's looking at a good record, and they're rolling right now. Harbaugh has this team rolling. The Cowboys struck news today when they signed defensive end Jadeveon Clowney. It looks like Clowney will make his debut this Sunday against the Chicago Bears. I don't expect him to play a full plethora of plays, but he'll have a package of plays where he can get in there. But you think about just how physically gifted Jadeveon Clowney is. If he's in shape, he's going to be a wrecking ball. He can cause damage. And on that defensive line, the Dallas Cowboys need a little bit of help since losing Micah Parsons. They haven't really had that kind of pass rush that they usually have with Micah Parsons, but he's getting it in there. And also, from the standpoint, it doesn't hurt to add more weaponry when you're thinking about just trying to help the quarterback position get to a place where they can actually thrive. And with that being said, it's a number of things that the Cowboys could do to upgrade. The offense is doing the best that it can as far as pulling its weight, but that's one of the tough things. Drake May is showing promising signs. We saw him on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins, and you saw the Patriots quarterback really have a hell of a game. It's been self-described as the head coach. Mike Vrabel talks about his toughness, talks about not only the gall, but what it takes for him to do what he does. And essentially, he's doing it. Myles Garrett is unhappy right now after the blowout loss to the Ravens. He said, this shit is embarrassing. Let's face it. It's very embarrassing. And that's the thing. Myles Garrett, you took the money. That's what it's going to be like for the next couple of years. You took the money and you wanted to stay with the Browns. You took the extension and you had a chance to possibly get traded. You had a chance to possibly force your way out, but you chose to stay and take the major payday. That's about what it is. You could be a generational talent, but you're wasting away your talent in Cleveland. You're wasting away your talent and not making the playoffs in Cleveland. So, yes, you're making a hefty payday. You're one of the most top paid players that's a non-quarterback in the NFL. But what does that get you at the end of the day? Get you a lot of losses, because the Browns don't know how to run an organization and don't really know how to coach as well. Man, it's a lot that's going on in football. It's a lot that's going on in basketball. We got WNBA action. The playoffs have started for them. It's a number of things that are going well for the WNBA game, and they've grown their game significantly. When you're looking at Caitlin Clark, when you're looking at Angel Reese, when you're looking at Asia Wilson, when you're looking at some of the biggest, brightest stars in the WNBA, the game is going places in a positive manner. The WNBA over the last couple of years has picked up steam. And I feel like they're going to start making money pretty soon. The women's game is getting more global. The faces of the young ladies are getting more recognizable. The brands are becoming bigger. They're starting to market more, no matter if it's McDonald's, Wendy's, makeup products, kitchen products, everyday cars. It's a number of things that the ladies are taking on advertising deals for. So that's a beautiful thing for the women's game and the growth of it. The women's game deserves an opportunity to grow. These ladies work hard. They work hard on their craft. They work hard on not only being presentable, but that's one of the things. A big surprise in college, LSU with Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly did snap at a reporter after they did beat Florida. He's got his feisty ways. At one point in time, he had the accent like he was from Louisiana. But he apologized to the reporter for his tirade after the win, asked about certain things and asked about offense, asked about, some of the things that happened in the game, that 20-10 victory over Florida, and he completely lost his shit. From a standpoint, Brian Kelly is very either moody or either attitude-ish after they win or lose games. After they beat Clemson, he had fired up at Dabo Swinney. It's a number of things that, got to take a chill pill sometimes. Got to take a chill pill. There's a lot of talk about Arch Manning in Texas. There's a lot of talk by Paul Feinbaum of ESPN that talks about Arch Manning is just normal. He's just regular. And mind you, Paul Feinbaum, we have to understand that Arch Manning, this is what, his second or third official start, fourth start. He's played backup at Texas for the last couple of years to Quinn Ewers. So this has been an adjustment phase. This is adjustment period. So I don't know too many quarterbacks that came out in college and just from the get-go just threw for 300 yards per game, threw for 4 touchdowns per game, and just did all these things. So that's something that they have to take time and to do. Steve Sarkisian is bringing them along. And he's got a matchup this week against Sam Houston. Hopefully they do well against that team. You're going to see Texas come out, and I feel like they're going to put pedal to the metal and actually show people how good the offense is. And it's been, it's been pretty good. Some of the struggles that we've seen in the NFL this season have been offensively. Some of the teams that we thought that were going to be on top are not right now. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, 0-2, a big surprise to us. Chicago Bears, 0-2, a big surprise because we thought they had promise in them. We thought that they had something special in them. And, we're expecting a lot, even though there's injuries attached to Kansas City, the Bears should be much better than what they are. The Bears should have beat the Vikings in week 1. Let's just face it, they blew that game. The Packers are the surprise of the NFL this season. After getting Michael Parsons, the defense has been playing phenomenal. Defense has been lights out. It's been playing more aggressive, getting home with a higher success rate as far as blitz and all those things. That's one thing you want to look at and you want to pat them on the back. The Chargers are also a surprise team. When you look at the Los Angeles Chargers, you look at the track history of Harbaugh. When does he usually make his hit? It's usually in year 2 or year 3 of the season, and he's right on track. Harbaugh has the Los Angeles Chargers in a position where they're dominating 2-0, And you see exactly how they played the Raiders. They didn't really turn the ball over. They used the interceptions to score points, and they played keep away from most of the game. They played smart football. They didn't try to go back and forth with the Raiders and score. They didn't try to go bomb deep shot down the field for deep shot. They played their game. They ran the football. When they couldn't run the football no more, they did the little darts all over the football field. And Justin Herbert used his legs when he needed to, rush the ball. You know, they need to do a little bit of job with Najee Harris, but the Chargers are in a good place. They're in a very good place of where I see them right now. I like where the team is going. I like where this team is headed, discipline-wise. I like how the defense is able to adjust. They're able to make plays. They're able to do things, and it's refreshing from that standpoint. The biggest question is, will they be able to lead and continue this type of energy moving forward? Last team that I thought was a surprise that I didn't think was going to have this kind of a season is the Indianapolis Colts. With Daniel Jones winning the starting position, I thought the offense was going to be okay. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it is. At times, it looks rocky. Let's just be honest. At times in the preseason, it looked rocky. And it didn't matter who was in the game. It didn't matter if it was Daniel Jones or if it was Anthony Richardson. But Shane Steichen and company have gotten this team together. When you're looking at just overall the way that they're carrying themselves, the way that they're winning football games, the way that they're challenging some of the best defensive teams. You saw what they did to the Broncos. The Broncos no-fly zone. You know, Patrick Surtain and company with the safeties, with Ufunga, with Greenlaw, with a number of guys that they've gotten in the free agency, a number of guys that they made move. It's prevalent that their style of football travels. So those are things you look for. Those are the things that you really want to see. And it's a beautiful thing, a very beautiful thing. So those are some of the things that I see across the map. Let me check one more thing. The Phillies clinched the NL East with the wild win against the Dodgers. That's huge for Philly, for the Phillies fans, for the Philly fan base. You know, stand up Philadelphia, great baseball. You know, they deserve some things in there. There was talk about Tom Brady that's what I forgot. There was talk about Tom Brady inside the Raiders booth wearing a headset during Monday Night Football, which I'm pretty sure is against the rule book because Tom Brady essentially is calling the games. He's in the scouting meetings, and he's also in the booth for the Raiders hearing the calls, hearing some of the things that they're going on with, and I think that there's paranoia that he may cheat. He may help try to give them signs. He may try to help them figure things out, and he's not supposed to. So as long as he's on Monday Night Football doing what he does, he shouldn't be in the booth of the Raiders with the headset on, taking calls or either hearing calls and being able to help figure things out for them. He needs to pick a side and stay there. That's kind of where we're at with Tom Brady as far as that and being in the booth for the Raiders on Monday night. And last but not least, I want to thank you guys. This has been a Sports Minute. Just in case you missed it, Volume 1 on the live stream platform for the YouTube channel. I want to welcome you all. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. When you hit the subscribe button, you get to see me go live on YouTube every single time I hit that live button. I want to thank you so very much. Shout out to all the eyeballs that are in the room. Shout out to everybody that viewed the live stream today. And as always, we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, be easy.